could a vibes-based recession happen? People think that there's a recession, and maybe it does happen. Isn't that how the Great Depression happened? Everyone thought that the banks were going to collapse, so they all went to pull their money out, and then it actually happened?
There's very much a mob psychology element to all of this. So that was a precipitator of the Great Depression, but you also had investors that were buying stocks on margin, and back at that time you could borrow 90% against your position. So for example, if you had a $10,000 investment in General Electric stock, you could borrow another $9,000 and invest that in the market, but you owed that back. And so when wave after wave of selling started in late 1929, it forced stock prices down, it forced margin calls. Investors had to sell at any price because they owed that money back. So you can imagine back then owing $9,000 when your investment was maybe only worth $1,000 was impossible for many families. So that also probably created a lot of the suicides that happened during the Great Depression. So all of those factors. So yes, it very much sentiment can spill over. And remember, consumer spending makes up about 70% of the economy. So if consumers across the board get really scared and pull back, then those dollars can't go into company coffers to drive earnings, for them to then pay out dividends to shareholders. And so stock prices could tumble as a result of that. But it takes a lot to break an economy too. So there are many strengths in the economy. We have low unemployment, corporate earnings are still decent, interest rates are up from where they were, but they're much lower than they have been in the past historically. So we have a lot of different shifting tides underneath here, and that's why it's really impossible to predict a recession.